Welcome to the Explainer. You know, you can have the strongest case in the world, literally rock solid, but one single mistake can cost you everything. I mean, everything. It's like a hidden tripwire in the legal world, and today we're going to talk about it. It's called the Clean Hands Doctrine.
Wow, that is a powerful statement, right? A nation's highest court drawing a really hard line in the sand. Pollute the stream of justice and you get nothing. No help from the court, period. But what does that actually mean? I mean, what does it really take to cross that line?
Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we're not just going to look at legal theory. No, we're going to dive into a real-life story. And what a story it is. A legal battle that stretches over 3 decades and pulls in 3 generations of the very same family. So, this is the story of the Singh family versus the state. And you might think it starts with some big, dramatic event, right? A crime, a massive dispute. But no, it all kicks off with something incredibly simple. A failure to file some paperwork. Just a small administrative slip-up that would, believe it or not, cascade into something huge. Okay, just look at this timeline. It really lays it all out. We start in 1975 with a simple land issue, and it doesn't get a final judgment until 2009. That's more than 30 years. It all starts with what's called an ex parte order, which just means a decision made when only one side is there. But the key, the real secret to why this whole thing dragged on for so long is hidden in that very next step, the challenge that was made back in 1976.
All right, let's go back. Let's rewind the clock to 1976. The court has just declared some of Praveen Singh's land as surplus, basically because he didn't do his paperwork. So now he's got to do something to get it back. And what he does next, well, this is his first and most critical move.
So he files this application. And his reason? He says he was just too sick to participate. Continuously ill for 10 months, he claimed. But here's the thing, and this is so important. He makes this claim a full 6 months after the court order. And he provides zero proof, not a single doctor's note, no medical certificate, nothing. You can imagine the court was a little skeptical, to say the least.
Now here's where it gets really fascinating. That initial story, that whole claim about being sick with no proof, it didn't just fade away. Oh no, it started to change. It evolved as his kids and then his grandkids took over the family's legal battle.
And you can see the shift right here. It's subtle, but it is absolutely critical. The story morphs from, I was too sick to file my objections, to something much bigger. I had no idea there were even proceedings against me. See the difference? The new story isn't just an excuse, it's an accusation that the court itself messed up by not notifying him.
And that one little change in the story, it had a huge, massive consequence. Because the family claimed they had no knowledge of the case, the High Court hit the pause button. They issued a stay order, which basically froze the entire legal process right in its tracks. And how long was the case frozen? 11 years. Let that sink in. For more than a decade, that stay order just sat there. The Singh family got to keep their land, while the people it was supposed to go to, landless poor families, got nothing. They just had to wait. All of this because of one misleading statement.
But wait, it gets even wilder. The lie didn't stop there. By the time this whole mess finally gets to the Supreme Court, we're on to the 3rd generation. Praveen Singh's grandson files a sworn affidavit, and he makes the most audacious claim yet. He flat out denies that the family ever got the original notice back in 1975. The Supreme Court's reaction? They said they were, and I quote, amazed at the degree of audacity. I mean, this claim flew directly in the face of official court records from decades ago.
So the court's conclusion was just devastating. This wasn't just about one person making a mistake or telling a lie anymore. The court saw it as a systematic effort to mislead them. A lie that was literally passed down like a family heirloom through 3 generations, with each one adding their own little twist to it.
And all of these actions, this whole family saga of deceit, led the court to pull out a very powerful legal tool. It's a principle that's right at the heart of this entire case. It's called the Unclean Hands Doctrine. So, what is this Unclean Hands Doctrine? Well, at its core, it's a pretty simple idea. You've probably heard the saying, he who comes into equity must come with clean hands. That's basically it. It means if you're asking a court for help, for justice, you better be coming to them honestly.
And this is the really critical part to understand. This isn't just some moral suggestion, like a nice to have. The court uses this as a threshold test. Think of it like a bouncer at a club. Before they even listen to your arguments about why you should be let in, they check if you meet the basic entry requirement. And in court, that requirement is honesty.
If you fail that test by lying or hiding stuff, game over. You've already lost before you've even started. So how does this test work? It's pretty straightforward, really. It's like a 3-part checklist. Step 1, did you hide a crucial fact? Yep, the Singh family hid the fact they got the notice. Check. Step 2, did you make a misleading statement? Oh, they absolutely did, over and over, twisting the story from I was sick to I knew nothing. Check. And step 3, did that lie actually influence the court? You bet it did. It got them that 11-year stay order. So yeah, they checked every single box.
So, where did this leave the Singh family? Well, the final verdict in their case really spells out why this whole clean hands thing isn't just a technicality. It's absolutely essential for the justice system to even work. And the court's decision here didn't just come out of nowhere. It wasn't made in a vacuum. It was built on a long, solid history of previous court rulings, all saying the same thing in different ways, whether it's requiring accurate statements or tossing out cases because someone hid a document. The message from the courts has been crystal clear for decades. You have to be honest. It's non-negotiable. So, in the end, the Supreme Court just dismissed the Singh family's appeal. Case closed. But here's the kicker, the single most important part of this whole story. They didn't dismiss the case because the family was necessarily wrong about the land itself. Maybe they had a point, maybe they didn't. The court never even got to that. They threw the case out because of the family's conduct, that 3-generation-long pattern of lies. It just made it impossible for the court to help them. They simply would not reward decades of deceit. And that brings us to the ultimate takeaway here. The court basically said, look, our special power to step in and fix things, what's called our writ jurisdiction, it only works if people tell us the truth. If you lie and distort the facts, the whole system just grinds to a halt. So what does it take to pollute the stream of justice? Well, as we've seen, it can start with a single lie. A lie that gets passed down, twisted and embellished over time. It's a powerful reminder that if you're going to ask for justice, your first job is to show up with clean hands.